Indian Secret Navy in the dark hull of the Arabian Sea. An unknown history story unfolding under moonlit waves. Before any nation claimed them, these forgotten sailors cornered a Nazi raider and sank it without even having a navy. In this mysterious historical event, a quiet deckhand feels the heat of gunfire crawling up the steel. What happened next changed the war, but no one remembers their names. Asterisk. The primary keyword enters naturally. The Indian Secret Navy story began, not in an official naval base, but on the creaking wooden docks of Bombay in 1941. Salt hung in the air, thick enough to taste. Lines of Indian sailors barefoot, sunbrowned, many barely 20 boarded merchant ships, painted in dull wartime gray. They were not soldiers. They were not protected. They had no fleet, no admirals, no flag of their own. Yet, in silence, they would become one of the war's most improbable forces. Amid them stood our own Dev, lean, wiry. With storm-dark eyes and calloused hands, his presence the emotional anchor of this narrative. He carried a single thought: if the sea wants me, it can earn me. Their ship, the SS Benadryl, looked harmless, exactly the point. In reality, it carried a hidden weapon system, 2 camouflaged naval guns manned entirely by Indian volunteers. This secret arrangement, mostly uncredited, formed the backbone of what historians now whisper about as an unofficial Indian Navy embedded inside the British Merchant Marine. But they were being hunted and the predator was closing. Asterisk. If you love unraveling a hidden history story or honoring unknown human achievement, drop a comment about the hero's history forgot. It fuels more cinematic storytelling like this. Asterisk. 3 days into open waters, Arun sensed at first the shift of wind, the silence of waves, the unnatural rhythm of the horizon. At dusk, a silhouette appeared, a dark shape, too large for a trader, too slow for a cruiser. A predator. The Nazi raider, HSK Atlantis, disguised as a merchant vessel, had sunk dozens of Allied ships without warning. Now its eyes were fixed on them. The crew tensed. Nobody spoke. The captain gestured quietly, fingers trembling just slightly. Arun watched the deck lights flicker as the sky dimmed into a bruised purple. Their ship had no naval escort, no armor, no official naval crew. Just them, the so-called Indian Secret Navy, armed with determination and 2 old guns hidden beneath tarpaulins. Asterisk. Stories like this remind us how mystery narratives hide inside ordinary lives. Tell me if you want more cinematic YouTube stories of unsung bravery. Asterisk. Night fell fully, swallowing the ocean in charcoal black. The Nazi ship flashed warning lights again. One final demand: stop or be destroyed. Arun exhaled, tasting metal on his tongue. The tarpaulin came off. Their hidden guns, small, trembling on rusted pivots, was aimed manually by lantern light. No computers, no targeting systems, only instinct. The primary keyword appears again. If the Indian Secret Navy had a moment of birth, this was it. The Atlantis opened fire first, but high. Teston Aaron fired back. The recoil nearly threw him off the deck. The flash of the guns split the night open, lighting faces carved with fear. Their shell struck the raider's deck and exploded in a shower of sparks. For the first time, the unstoppable Nazi ship had been hit by a crew with no official navy. Asterisk. If emotional storytelling about forgotten human achievement speaks to you, like this video so more untold stories rise to the surface. Asterisk. The battle turned brutal. Shells tore through the night in streaks of orange. Every blast rocked the Benadryl like a child's toy. Arun's ears rang, his fingers burned. Smoke rolled across the deck like a trapped fog. Then it happened. A lucky hit, no. A miracle hit from the Indian gunner slammed into Atlantis's engine housing. Flames burst upward. The raider's deck lights flickered, then died completely. The mighty Nazi raider was now half blind. The Indian crew cheered, but too soon. Atlantis was pivoting for a ramming strike. Asterisk. If you enjoy unraveling mysterious historical events, share your thoughts. This community thrives on curiosity. Asterisk. The new arrival was not an enemy, it was HMS Cornwall, a British warship responding to distress signals. But Cornwall didn't know who fired first, or which ship was which. Arun's crew lit distress flares, painting the sky blue. Cornwall understood. The destroyer unleashed its guns. Shell after shell ripped into Atlantis, turning steel into flying embers. The Nazi raider began listing, sinking. The Indian sailors watched the monster vanish beneath the waves. History would say Cornwall sank Atlantis, but eyewitness accounts reveal the truth. The first blow, the one that exposed the raider, came from Arun's crew, from a ship with no navy, no rank, no flag. Mini cliffhanger. Asterisk. After the sinking, the Indian sailors waited for recognition, medals, mentions, records, but none came. The merchant navy logs were sparse. Wartime reports were vague. Headlines credited the British escort, not the Indian men who fired the first shots. Their achievement faded, buried under politics, paperwork, and the fog of war. Decades later, a historian described this as a forgotten human achievement carved into salt water. Arun, now an old man, heard those words and smiled. He didn't want fame, he wanted the truth to surface. And now, it has asterisk. If you want more cinematic narration, exploring vanished bravery, drop a comment. It helps uncover more hidden corners of history.